The Fallout Season 2 trailer has just been released, and it's pretty good, and also pretty dense. It holds some really massive reveals, with some really deep implications. The showrunners were told not to set in stone any particular New Vegas ending in the first season, but that rule seems to be in the past, as in the mere 2 minutes and 42 seconds we've seen so far, the second season can start to give us an idea of the true ending to the Courier's story. There are 4 main possible endings to Fallout New Vegas, those being the wildcard ending, in which the Courier runs the strip themselves, with the support of the Yes-Men Securitron, the Mr. House ending, in which the former CEO of Robco remains in control of the region, and expands their sphere of influence. The NCR ending, in which the nation-state gains control over the Hoover Dam and the Strip, and Caesar's Legion, in which those entities go towards the Roman cosplayers. I think the easiest way to suss out the true fate of the Mojave is to go through these endings one by one, and try to figure out which of these still holds water. The wildcard ending is dead, in which I mean to say that it is almost certainly not the true ending. For one simple fact, in that Securitrons are never transferred over to the control of Yes-Man. A key step on the path to the Courier's control is the killing of Mr. House and the uploading of Yes-Man to the system, whereby he will wipe all the Securitrons. This has not happened, as we can still see Victor in the trailer. I could see a way out in saying that the Victor AI was able to hide away somewhere on the system and upload itself to a backup Securitron off the grid, and that kind of feels like a stretch. The Victor existing seems to guarantee that Mr. House still breathes, right? In which case the house truly does win and the house ending is the true path. But that's not quite the full story, as even after Mr. House has been taken care of, the system is not wiped and Victor could still be hanging around somewhere. The Mr. House ending does have something working against it, and that's just the general state of his hometown. New Vegas is effectively in ruins in the trailer, even the parts that are not normally seen as such. If House is still in charge, running the place with his newly upgraded Securitrons, I could not see him letting the place fall into such disrepair. Now, the Strip turning into such a starry state seems to imply that the ruling party itself was struggling. For example, if their home city had a nuclear bomb detonated in it. It is explained in the first season that Shady Sands is greatly crippled after a crater forms in the middle of it. If the NCR ending is the true one, they would be placed in charge of the Strip. Then, after the Republic is thrust into chaos, they would have to be forced to withdraw their troops, leaving New Vegas unguarded for a potential horde of Deathclaws to cast ruin upon it. Now, Vegas itself is not the only beloved location we get to see the fate of, as our protagonists somehow stumble upon what is left of Novak and its iconic dino friend. The town has been taken over by a gang of no-good ruffians, and by a look closer we can see that these marauders are members of the Great Khans. With the Khans being effectively eliminated in the NCR ending, it seems unlikely that this was the Courier's true path. Now, it's been 15 years since the tribe was to be eradicated, and some stragglers could have regrouped under an old flag, as they have the habit of doing so. Yet again, this ending still stands as a possibility. This leaves us with Caesar's Legion, which actually made an appearance in the trailer themselves. In one of the shots, we can see the troops being rallied by a bald man, who you might be led to believe is Caesar. If Caesar lives, that means the Courier cured his brain tumor, and that ending is pretty likely. However, on closer inspection, this is not Caesar. It's actually just a high-ranking Legion member, such as a Centurion, or a Legate, such as Legate Lanius, who must have overcome his concerns about his facial injuries. You can tell by his armor, which matches his in-game representation. Nonetheless, on the head, you can see a laurel wreath. These are meant to represent a great triumph, possibly a battle at Hoover Dam. So this is clearly it, right? The Courier rides with the Legion. Sure, they failed to cure Caesar's brain tumor, or he's just simply not shown in the trailer, or dies of old age. Well, there's actually one more hidden fifth ending, which I think is possible, and frankly, it would be really fun. If you decide to side with Elijah at the ending of Dead Money, you're met with this ending dialogue.
Years later, when a mysterious blood-red cloud began to roll across the Mojave, then west toward the Republic, no one knew where it had come from, only that it brought death in its wake. Attempts to find the source of the toxic cloud failed. The Mojave was cut off. There were stories of ghosts immune to gunfire who struck down anyone they saw with rays of light. The last chapter of the Mojave came when a modified Repcon rocket struck Hoover Dam, releasing a blood-red cloud, killing all stationed there. All attempts to penetrate the cloud and retake the dam failed. and both the NCR and Legion finally turned away from it, citing the place as cursed.
Could this be the cause of the strip's current state? An attack carried out by a madman and his newfound acquaintance? Probably not, but it would be cool. In all likelihood, I think the Mr. House ending would be the most probable. Purely from a thematic standpoint, there's a heavy emphasis placed on Robert House in the trailer, and I see the story involving the ghoul coming upon the disheveled body of the former CEO, still in his pod, and then having a good heart-to-heart, which ends in the ghoul being the one to take the shot and end Mr. House, as implied by the trailer.
I think you are actually quite a violent man. You just don't want to kill me yet.
Now, all this conjecture does rely on them not retconning any major elements. What is the retcon, you may ask? Well, I just made a video going over what that is, so go take a look. At the end of the day, all of these questions will be answered when the show releases in December, but until then, feel free to stick around.